just calling to say
So what have we got here? Because this looks like the Batmobile. I know what this is, but it's in this organic state. This looks even more menacing.
See, this is a special car for sure. What makes it special is that is almost the exact replica of the car which won last year and this year the 24-hour Le Mans. And today is available for our customer. They can drive amazing. The same car which is competing in the WEC Championship, so it's pretty unique opportunity.
I think the hypercar class at Le Mans is the right word for it, because that's what these are. They're so quick.
Yes.
What's the top speed now that these are doing at Le Mans? Is it 220?
Probably, say 220 miles per hour, yes.
But it's unusual to see in the naked state with the carbon and this is.
Yes, it is. I mean, we give the opportunity to the owner to choose their own colors. We give the livery, it's the same for everybody. You will see the other cars has got the same livery, but you can choose the combination of colors.
Yeah.
And this customer, which had an XX before to buy this car, had the FXXK car in the same colors of this 499.
Yeah.
So keep his own livery.
I love these. So I've never driven one of these, but I've raced something similar at Le Mans when it was the LMP 900 class, and then what do they call them after that? I can't remember now. But the horsepower mostly now going through the rear axle, and then it's. I think what's good is they're four-wheel drive, but not all the time.
Yeah, so, in reality, this is what is happening into the race car. The customer car, which is like this one, which is the 499, which is called Modificata, which is the customer car, is almost a permanent 4x4. The peculiarity of this car is that is rear driving with a thermical engine and the front driving electrical.
Yeah.
So on the front axle there is an electrical motor which drives the front wheels. So
and in here,
somewhere in here on the axle of the front wheels.
Okay.
And in racing, for the limitation of the rule, you can use the front traction only over 190 kilometers per hour. For us, being that we are not racing, is completely free. So we start to have a 4x4 car starting from zero. So as soon as you move, it's already a 4x4 car.
So the clienti, your private owners, they get more power than the Le Mans drivers?
Yes, that's true.
And less weight. Is that right? Because you don't need the BOP weight?
In reality, the weight is very, very similar. One of the other big differences is the tires, that we use Pirelli tires instead of the Michelin, which are used into the championship.
Yeah. Fantastic.
But the car for the rest is very, very similar. And I repeat, the fact that you are driving an actual car is absolutely unique. An actual official car is a pretty unique experience for sure for them too.
So this one looks like it's being prepared for use?
Yes, exactly. In 2 days we will have a test session here in Fiorano. On this car we have to check some setting on the electronics, so we are doing some programmation on the black boxes to get it on track next week.
Can we just look at that one for a second? Because I spotted something. So this one, look, this number 44, come on. Lewis Hamilton, he's coming here soon. Yes. Somebody knows something.
Yes, no. This is absolutely casualty. This is again is one of the our XX customer, which had an FXXK, which was number 44 since very long, and now he had one of the 499P Modificata, and he used the same number and the same livery. Yeah. So this is absolutely casualty.
Maybe he's a Lewis fan.
See, I don't know. No, I don't think so. He's American, so probably.
Okay, it's a coincidence then.
It's a coincidence, but it's a funny coincidence.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, Leclerc and Sainz are fantastic, and but Lewis is a multiple world champion. It's a time of big change, big energy for Ferrari.
For sure, I know. As we said before, it's a dream for everybody to drive one day for Ferrari, as it is for him. We know he has always been a Ferrari owner as well, so I'm sure he will be super happy and he will give everything next year. So
yeah, it's going to be exciting.
It will be exciting for everybody. New challenge.
So these are incredibly unique because there aren't many of them. It's and it's pretty unusual, a bit like the Formula One cars, but to have something that's modified from the track for clients to be able to use quite regularly.
Yes.
And they're extremely extreme. But then you've got road cars that nearly have this kind of performance. I mean, and my eye's drawn back to this. Could you just talk me through the insanity of this car? Okay, so
this is the FXXK. It's a car, this is the Evo configuration. It's a car which born in 2015. as the track version of the Ferrari, which was the supercar at the time. So it's an amazing car, very modern, with very modern electronics, with 150 horsepower in total, including the electrical power, but with very good controls. So in a way, it's an easy car to drive if you keep the control high.
With the Manettino.
With the Manettino. So if you keep the control high, the modern electronics helps very much. If you start to go down with the controls, it's a very, very wild horse. So you have to be very good to drive those kind of car.
So presume this looks like it has more aero than the LaFerrari.
Yes, absolutely.
The LaFerrari has active rear aero. So
See,
it's the same?
This is the same. See,
okay.
On the rear wing, I mean, it's not really a wing, it's a sort of deflector which comes up from the rear bumper, and it can come up more than 20 centimeter, probably 30 centimeter, and works as an aero brake in braking, and then in cornering, according to the speed of the car, the steering wheel angle, and the lateral acceleration, it self-adjusts to give the best downforce in each condition.
Okay.
Same is on the front. There is something you don't see on the bottom of the front floor. There are some flaps which can open up and do the same, so they can change the downforce on the front axle as well.
Are they active, or does the airflow change the angle?
No, they're active.
They are.
They're active. So they change the aero balance in any condition to the best.
And is this lightened because it's XX? It means it's insanity is baked into it.
Yes.
What are the big modifications?
So the main modification compared to the road car is for sure the aerodynamic. As you see, there is this rear big wing, there is the front splitter with all flicks and winglets, there is a big diffuser on the back which helps very much the aerodynamic. The car compared to the road car is lighter.
Yeah.
The suspension compared to road car has been completely modified to have a lower riding height of the car and to use slick tires instead of road tires. The use of let's say that the hybrid part of the car is exactly the one of the LaFerrari, but the way we use it on this car is more extreme.
Right.
So we get out more horsepower from this electrical battery. And then obviously being not anymore a road legal car, but a racing car for track use, has been fitted with anything you need to be on track. So seat belts, 6 points, fire extinguisher system, anything is needed to be on track.
Okay, so you can see all
The
that.
peculiarity of this car, let me say, is the fact that it doesn't have a proper roll cage in steel tubes as any racing car, but the roll cage is built into the roof. So inside the roof there are some reinforcement in carbon, sort of beams in carbon, which gives to the car, to the structure, the same strength of a steel structure, but is in carbon. And is built into the roof, so you don't see, as we are used, pieces of tubes of metal everywhere.
That's enhanced in this, as opposed to more than the LaFerrari, or was it already in there?
Sorry?
The LaFerrari came with this reinforcement already?
No. This is
specific for this one.
Specific for this car.
So it really is almost a completely different car.
See, it is. I mean, the basic design, as we will see, is the LaFerrari, but then has been completely transformed.
Is it legal to drive it on the road?
No, not at all. Not at all. There are no silencers. It's very noisy.
But maybe if you take it to America, it's possible. Anything is possible in America. It's beautiful.
No, it is not anymore road legal. The front headlights are very small, so you cannot use on road. So no, it's definitely not a road legal car.
I love it.
It cannot be.
Another one over there I need to check out, the 96.
Please.
So this is this looks familiar because this it's based on the Enzo.
Exactly. This is where the XX program started.
Yeah.
Back in 2006.
So this car I saw with Schumacher at Top Gear.
Yes, exactly.
So,
in those days, Schumacher was with us. The car, as I said, has been officially launched in 2006, but in reality, the project started probably a couple of years earlier. And Schumacher was very deeply involved into the development of this car. Yeah. So there are a lot of footage of Schumacher out of these windows in Fiorano, driving this car to give his advice to make it faster.
I was very embarrassed because on the day he came to the Top Gear track, he brought his car, so I think it was in black.
Black.
There was a team of 12 Ferrari who came to meet him there, and I had to show him the track, and I had a diesel Jaguar or something. It was very slow, and I was so busy looking at the car behind me to show him where I was going. I wasn't paying attention, and I dropped just a small wheel on the dirt, and it sprayed some gravel up, And then in my horror, I saw him, get away from it, and he must have thought this guy can't drive. It was slightly embarrassing, but I went to watch him driving it on track. So he borrowed the white suit, so he dressed in the Stig suit and everything, but he just drove it the way he drives. In the fast corners, it was amazing to watch. A very aggressive turn in.
It is.
Carrying a lot of speed, and he drove it the way it looked like a Formula One car under the skin.
Absolutely. This is a very powerful car. It's a light car, doesn't have very much controls, so the electronics doesn't help very much the driving, because we're talking about 20 years time older today. So it's pretty wild car to drive, but a proper racing car.
Yeah, but the Enzo was quite simple inside anyway, and I remember the standard car I felt was always quite light on aero, on the road condition, and when you get some camber and when you accelerate the torque, it can spin the wheels.
Okay.
It can make it quite exciting.
As any supercar, a lot of power, and this is why for the track use has been developed an aero package with those wings. There is a lot of work has been done to increase the downforce of the car.
But they're very easy to drive.
Yes,
the standard car. This one I'm sure is probably a little bit more edgy because it's developed for the track. It's probably more pointy, more downforce. But the way you sit in the steering wheel feels very familiar when you sit in it for the first time.
Despite there are more modern cars, as the 599 or the FXXK now, everybody still loves the FXX. So there are many cars still into the program running because everybody loves it.
So this is a silly question, but which is the most expensive one in the room? Is it
in this moment, probably the 499.
Or 499
PS.
Because it's got so much race technology in it.
This is a racing car, very special, than any single component of the car has been designed and developed and manufactured for that car. On this car is more, probably 70% of the pieces which compose this car comes from the road car, so less expensive for sure. But the value of this XX car is pretty high, so
I bet it is.
It's a good investment for sure for the owners.
So the rumor I was told, I thought just something you hear, is that if you crash a Ferrari anywhere in the world, however you do it, on track, whatever, if you bring it back to Ferrari, they will fix it. Is that true?
That's true, for sure. For our racing car, being that. Especially with the Formula One, we've been always the manufacturer for any single component of the car, engine, gearbox, and everything. We have got the archive, the original archive of drawings. We've got the CAD model of any single component. So whatever it happens, if we don't have in stock, we are in the condition to reproduce it. And this happens, for example, very recently. We have restored a 1970 car with an old V12 boxer engine. And most of the parts were needed to be remanufactured from scratch because they were unusable, and we could do it. It took some time, a couple of years, 3 years, but we can do anything. So
you've got the blueprints and the desire and the passion to keep them going, which is amazing.
Yes.
So the client program is 2003 is when it officially started, but you guys have supported.
So let's say that in 2003, so Ferrari, everything started with the Formula One. And Ferrari was always selling the car at the end of the season. But at some stage, one of the owners which bought one of these cars said, why not to give me the possibility to drive this car on track once? And starting from this request, Ferrari started to think about giving assistance and try to see if there are more customers interested in doing this. And this is how it started. So the first was just one car, then a couple of cars, then 3 or 4 cars. Starting the people, there was not a proper group only, let's say, focused on the F1 Clienti program, but was people coming from the Scuderia. But then, being that the number of car and customer interested to join the program was growing up, has been starting a dedicated group of persons just for this program.
Is it collectors or is it people who just love Ferrari? A bit of both. What is it? I don't know.
Both. Some are basically every let me say 99% of our customers are Ferrari lovers.
Yeah.
They know everything. They know the history. They like to share their time with us. Most of us in my crew, we come from a very long lasting in Ferrari, in any single department, in the Scuderia, in the GT department. So they like to be with us and to talk with us and to hear stories about Ferrari. And they know they are in good hands because the level of quality of the work here is obviously at the top, so they trust us very much, and there is a very good relation also between the customer, sharing the same passion. You see that they share also a relation between them, so it's very nice. It's what we call always is a big family.
Amazing.
So it makes it very special for everybody, even for us.
So all of these cars are for the racetrack.
Yes.
And prepared at this one place, or you have another facility, or everything happens here?
No, everything happens here. This is the only place where we take care about XX cars.
Okay. And you also have a challenge car? Can we have a little look at this one?
For sure. Challenge car is here with us because in our workshop we also take care about the Corso Pilota car. The Corso Pilota is the official driving course of Ferrari.
So this is the challenge car.
So
yes?
this is exactly the 296 challenge car, which is the last model of the challenge, which is competing now in the European Championship. And we use for the Corso Pilota. Is the top level of the driving course of Ferrari, is the one with the Ferrari challenge.
Yeah.
So it's a driving course which is addressed to all drivers which want to compete into challenge.
So this is based on the 296?
That's it.
Oh, it's okay.
Based on the 296, it's exactly the same version which is racing in the Ferrari challenge. And this is an introduction driving course for who wants to drive a racing car on track.
Yeah.
So the driving course is specifically done for track use of the Ferrari cars.
Well, I drove the previous model.
Yes.
I was blown away by the performance is incredible because I raced the GTLM car.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's faster than the car I raced at Le Mans. And this is for people who maybe don't have hardly any experience and they're coming into racing for the first time, and it's this. I mean, what's incredible is that with the support and the instructors and also the Manatino, that you can keep on the track with these things. There's a lot to process.
For sure, for sure. I mean, there is a lot to learn, especially if you are not used to drive on track, as you well know. There is a lot to learn, the way, trajectories, braking points, the way to drive a car. I mean, the setup of a racing car is completely different to the one of a road car, so you need to get used to it. But it's a starting point. The challenge is there is much interest all over the world about it. And is maybe a starting point. For example, our driver Nielsen, which now is one of the drivers which compete into the 499P car, is coming from the Challenge Championship, so it was a starting point from him. Then he came up to the GT3, GT, and then now he's on the hypercar program.
So it's a ladder. So this is now really like a development program as well as enthusiasts, but it's you can develop drivers and then bring them through.
Absolutely.
You're going to have a lot of drivers. How do you manage them all?
I mean, I repeat, what is good is the fact that everybody has got a big passion. So it's very important to me. The way I understood is the best way to manage with all these customer is to be very honest and be very clear and explain them whatever is happening into the car.
Okay.
So once you give a good explanation of what's going on, everything will be fine for them.
So is it possible for me to pick one that I can take on the track?
It's no problem. Whenever you can get one of those cars, you buy it. We will be happy to assist you on track wherever you like.
Oh, I need a job then. I'm going to have to go and work in the factory and do something useful. But it's amazing, absolutely stunning. I mean, it's a collection. It's not a collection. It's not a museum. These cars you're looking after them. So this is a workshop that's just like nothing else. Just beautiful. And I love in the factory colours. The 499P is just
any Ferrari car in red is always special to me, at least.
I love it.
So, and yes, you are right. This is a special place. Believe me that I never get used to it. I live here, so I come in every morning. But anytime I come into these rooms, I understand I'm in a special place. We are very lucky to be here. Yes, we are.
So this is where the magic happens?
Yes, yes. This is the place where we take care about the maintenance of these all wonderful cars. And as you can imagine, there is regular maintenance in terms of overall of the gearbox, of the engine after some miles, depending from the season. And we take care about anything here. We split the car in pieces, as you see, sometimes. And we do the overall of each single component because for us, obviously, safety and reliability is a priority.
Well, it looks like Formula One team. So I mean, obviously the F1 team has their own base, but
yes.
how do you get people who know these cars so well
See, I mean, most of the crew into the Formula One team, the Formula One Clienti program, most of my crew, it comes from the Scuderia. Every one of us has got a lasting at least of 10-15 years into the Scuderia. So after we do, as it happened to me, after I did my experience over there, we moved here to have a different job, but still continues enjoying racing cars.
So for you, there's lots of familiar faces in here, and they're experts with the cars. So that must make life a lot easier.
Absolutely. Yeah. Most of these mechanics, as I said, they were mechanics in the racing car for the Scuderia. The chief mechanic, for example, of the F1 program, he has been the #1 mechanic of Alonso and Raikkonen. Some of them has been a mechanic for Schumacher, for Massa, so they know very well each single car. So
that's amazing.
It is.
Sometimes though, does the main team steal somebody back? Does it happen?
It does. See, you know, it's a flow. So sometimes they send us some guys with no experience. They do experience with us, and then they go into the Scuderia. Yeah. Or vice versa. After they did experience in Scuderia, they bring their experience here in our department. So it's a flow.
Amazing! What a team you've got. That's awesome. There's some more good-looking stuff up here. I can see.
And then the fact that we have people with experience on those cars, it makes our life much easier because, as you can imagine, we can. Whatever problems happens into the car, it's something which has been seen before, so very quickly you can react and solve the problem.
It's really an incredible privilege to get to look behind the scenes and see where it all happens. But
this is the other side of our world, so it's the XX program. Yeah. We just saw the car, this is the workshop, so here we do, as we do for the Formula One, the maintenance of those cars. Same is here, the crew is high level, very high level mechanic. Most of them has been involved into the construction of every single car into the GT department. And after we are lucky enough that we can get the best mechanics from the GT department, they come with us and join our program.
Do you get any relationship with the development guys? The people.
Sure.
So next year's car, the ones we don't even know about or you know about.
Sure, we do. Not for the road car, but for the XX car for sure. Yeah. So anytime there is the development of a new XX car, we get involved. Because we know what we need, we know which are the feedback we get from the customer. Because something very interesting about the XX program is that we always get feedbacks from the drivers and their wanted and their wish, and we try to implement into the car as much as possible of the wish of our customers. So also the customer get involved in a way into the development of the car. For example, on the FXXK, when the car was released, the first release of the car was with the steering wheel, which was almost the one of the Ferrari, but without the airbag. Right. And many feedback we had from the customer was, I want a proper racing car, not this is more like the one I have on the Ferrari. Yeah. And so on the FXXK Evo, we did a proper racing steering wheel. Okay, so it's a conversation. It's a conversation also with the customers.
For me, I noticed it more than any other manufacturer, really, with all the time I've been on track with Ferrari, the team is there, and a lot of the time I met Rafa De Simone, and they would always ask, what is the car like? And they want feedback.
See, for sure.
So I think
it's very important. At the end of the day, the last user is the driver, so who is the best to give you some feedback? Whatever is the level, because not being racing for us, our activities is just track days where they can enjoy the car. So we've got any kind of level of driving skill. But in my opinion, it's good to listen to everybody because we have to achieve the goal with any kind of experience you have.
Love it. Cool. Thank you so much. You've done a great job. I love it what you do, and it's amazing to see such a variety under one roof. And the best part is everything is being used.
See.
Super cool. Well, I'm going to find a way to get hold of one of these cars. So look out. But for today, thank you so much for showing me around.
It was really a pleasure.
Really loved it, and it's very special being at the heart of Ferrari and feeling your experiences.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
Hopefully with some keys.